Islam and the rejection of forced conversion, in the light of the Quran and history. Introduction. Islam is a religion that teaches human freedom, justice, and the protection of natural rights. Its foundation rests on love, fairness, and reason, not coercion, oppression, or compulsion. One of the most explicit and well-known verses of the Quran is from Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 256. There is no compulsion in religion, Al-Baqarah, 256. This verse not only clarifies Islam's religious principle but also provides an eternal guarantee of human rights. It means that faith is a deep condition of the heart that can only come through reason and free choice, never through force or pressure. The Quran's clear command. The Quran repeatedly emphasizes that faith is a matter of inner conviction, and that guidance is ultimately in the hands of Allah. And if your Lord had willed, all who are on earth would have believed. So, will you compel the people to become believers? Yunus, 99. So remind, O Muhammad, you are only a reminder. You are not over them a controller. Al-Ghashiyah, 21-22. These verses show that the Islamic method of invitation, dawah, is based on wisdom, reasoning, and gentleness, not on force. The practical example of the Prophet. In the life of the Prophet Muhammad, there is no example where he forced anyone to accept Islam through the sword or state power. Rather, he always presented the message with patience, reason, and kindness. The Meccan period, for 13 years, despite severe persecution, he never attempted to coerce his opponents into Islam. The Charter of Medina, when he migrated to Medina, he drafted a written agreement granting complete religious freedom to Jews, Christians, and even polytheist tribes, allowing them to live according to their own faiths. The status of non-Muslims in an Islamic state. Historically, under Muslim rule, Jews, Christians, Zoroastrians, Hindus, and others lived for centuries while freely practicing their religions. Muslim Spain, Al-Andalus. For over 800 years, Jews and Christians not only retained their faith but also played a central role in scientific, cultural, and intellectual growth. The Ottoman Empire. When Jews were expelled from Christian Europe during periods of persecution, the Ottoman Caliphate welcomed them, granting them safety, work opportunities, and freedom of worship. The Indian subcontinent. During Muslim rule, Hindus retained their temples, festivals, and full freedom of worship. Jizya and religious freedom. The jizya was a tax taken from non-Muslim citizens in exchange for exemption from military service, not as a penalty for disbelief or a means to force conversion. In return, the state guaranteed their full protection and safety. It was a political and economic arrangement, not a religious pressure. Addressing the historical allegations. Some critics claim that Islam spread by the sword. Historical evidence, however, tells a different story. 1. Countries like Indonesia and Malaysia, now the largest Muslim-majority nations, embraced Islam through peaceful trade and the efforts of Sufi missionaries, not military conquest. 2. When Muslims entered Spain, Egypt, or Syria, many local Christians and Jews found more religious freedom under Muslim governance than under previous rulers. 3. If Islam had been spread solely by force, there would be no significant non-Muslim populations in Muslim lands today, yet millions of non-Muslims still live in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. The principle of freedom of choice in Islam. Islam holds that religion is a natural, rational invitation, not something that requires compulsion. Faith is a matter of the heart, and hearts cannot be forced. The Prophet said, "Whoever harms a non-Muslim under a treaty, I will be his opponent on the day of judgment." Sunan Abu Dawud. This statement is a powerful declaration that non-Muslims' rights are protected in Islam. Conclusion. The Quran clearly states, there is no compulsion in religion, Al-Baqarah, 256. The Prophet Muhammad never forced anyone to embrace Islam. Non-Muslims lived under Muslim rule for centuries with their faith intact. Islam spread largely through moral conduct, justice, and the beauty of its teachings, not through the sword. The message of Islam today remains the same as it was 1,400 years ago, to invite people to truth through reason, love, and wisdom, never through coercion.